I am Valérie Djoumessi and I am a French entrepreneur. I'm based in Paris. My parents are Cameroonian. I'm the artistic director of our family business, which is called Upgrade Agency. And I am also a consultant in image and a creativity coach. I co-host a podcast with my three sisters and my mother. It is called 𝐀𝐦𝐿𝐴 podcast. I have always been fascinated by the human potential. For me, it is so important to, as a woman and as a man, to be able to realize our dreams. So welcome in mine. It's Amulette podcast. It's a 10-minute bubble of courage in French and in English, where I will be talking everything vulnerability, authenticity, and freedom. So make yourself comfortable. Welcome in my dream. This is Amulette podcast. Hey, welcome in this new episode of Amulette podcast. I am your host, Valérie Djoumessi, and I am so happy to have you today. I'm so happy to have your attention because I know it's one of the most precious things you have, so thank you for giving it to me. So today, what I really want to talk about is a theme that I chose for my 2020 year. It was so important to realize that we were changing the decade in 2020, and I was thinking of the end of this year that will be in December, and I didn't want to be there and be like, well, I haven't not done all the things that I said I wanted to do at the beginning of the year. For me, it is so important to have a year full of intention because I feel so alive. I'm 30 years old. I'm a woman. I'm in France. Like, I feel like I can do and be everything that I want. So for me, it's so important to have intention. So for this year, I decided that my main intention was healing. I came into this year knowing that my main work, my main focus will be about healing myself. And I think that when you heal yourself, you heal a lot of people around you, more than you think. So I just realized that there was like different type of healings that I could identify and work on. And in this episode, I wanted to, talk about it with you. And maybe, and I hope it's going to resonate with you and you're going to feel like there are some part in your life that you can work on in order to accept them and to feel free. So the first and I think the most obvious healing that I'm going to work on is the physical healing. So basically it's when you have like those headaches or when your knee hurts or you have like those terrible stomach cramp that comes all the times and you don't really do anything about it. For me, it's so important to take care of yourself. It's something that has to be learned. For me, I feel like I'm learning every day to take care of myself. It means taking time when I'm hurting to heal myself. For instance, the other day I was running in the morning and I wanted to sprint, so I sprinted, and of course I decided to sprint and then to make a left. So I felt on the floor because it was raining, and I felt like a French crepe basically. And I felt, well, no one saw me, but it doesn't matter anyway. And I felt, and well, it hurts. Not a lot, but I felt like, oh my God, wow, that's okay, be careful because you can hurt yourself. And the days after I realized that, oh, maybe my ankle is a bit sore and my knee and stuff. And for me, sport is so important. Working out is so important because it really helps me maintain the healthiest mental health as possible and mental state as possible. And so it was hard for me not to run after that because I really wanted to run because I take pride of being able to run early in the morning, and also I know what it does to my mood. But I decided to take a break because I need to take care of myself, because that's how you do when you want to heal physical trauma. You take the time to do the thing that's going to help you heal better. So yes, if you have any physical traumas or physical pain, take the time to heal them. It means take an appointment to the doctor, take time to massage yourself. Maybe ask yourself, is this pain really physical? Is it not about something else? And then let your unconscious give you the answers, because I think it's so important and we are so powerful. The other healing that came to my mind was about those traumas that I think that I've always had. I don't know if it's really true, but that's the feeling. You know, when you are, for me, for instance, it's the fact that I thought that I was not enough. And it seems like everything was showing me that I was not enough. My partners made me feel that I was not enough. Life made me feel that I was not enough. But I think it's not about them. It's actually about me believing that I was not enough. So it's something that I'm really, really working on. And I know it's something that I really need to do it over time. I have this tattooed on my forearm. I wrote, I am enough, because I need to remind myself every day that I am enough. And I think that I will have to do that for the rest of my life. And that's okay. But it's something that I'm healing over time. And those traumas and those things that we want to heal, it's so important to be aware of them, because they might be our kryptonite. And it's nice to know that maybe you should avoid or do some stuff in order to take care of yourself in that way. And also, life has a great way to throw you amazing stuff and also a lot of shit in your face sometimes. And those shits that are not shit, because actually it depends how you react to it. It's not what happened to you that it's important, it's how you react to it. But still, at those moments, the relationship that hurts, the breakups, the disillusions, the shame, the everything, those traumas that come with life, those are the traumas that I think are so important to be able to heal. It doesn't mean that there is no result. It's not like, oh, ding, I'm healed, next, because I don't think it's how it works. But just to be in the process of healing, to be aware that stuff that happened to you have an impact on you, and to pretend that it's not the case is lying to yourself. I'm preaching to myself as well. Another healing that is, one of the most, I don't know if it's the most complex, but it's so hard when you come from the unconscious. I know that back in my unconscious, there is a lot of things that I haven't dealt with yet, and that are coming up to the surface. I know in my unconscious there are traumas maybe, that are hidden and that are going to come up to the surface gradually. And I don't know what it is. I don't know the magnitude of it, but I just know it's here, because we're all human. So there are stuff that sometimes takes really, really a lot of time to come up to the surface. And there is nothing that I can do about it, except two things. One thing is that I am telling my unconscious that I'm ready. I am ready. Bring the shit. Bring the stuff that hurt me, because I really want to be as aware as possible of my shadows. And because I think it's really there that I can have my strength to be aware of them. And then I will continue to grow my resiliency, to know that I am able to heal, to know that I am able to ask for help, to know where to find support, so I can be a better person and be ready when those stuff are coming up, and being able to do the work and walk the talk and heal and help heal and keep on going and be patient. Last but not least, this healing is one of my favorites. It's like I'm talking about the best book of the year, but that's kind of the thing. I am so excited about that. That's weird, because it's a lot of work, but I think it's so amazing when you're aware of it and when you finally realize what your potential is, so you know that you can do anything. These traumas, that's like an award, really, because these traumas are not yours. These traumas are coming from your family trees, your lineage, and you're sometimes not aware of it. Sometimes you are carrying stuff that are not yours. It can be physical pain, it can be psychological pain, it can be fears as well. And it's so fascinating to know where you come from. So fascinating. There is, I think, a say that says, you don't know, in order to know where you're going, you need to know where you're from. And for me, working on my family tree is that saying, what am I saying? There is this biological field which is called epigenetic, and it was basically talking about your DNAs and the change and the transformation that can be given from generation to generation, which means that if something's happened to you while you are in the womb, so your mother, for instance, she's carrying in you, and she's under a lot of trauma and stresses, then there is some hormones are going to be secreted, and it can be really detrimental to your future life. So for instance, if there are a lot of cortisol, which is the hormone of stress, so basically the hormones that are secreted when you are in the womb of your mother have a real impact on you. So for instance, if let's say your family has been through traumas, through wars, through psychological, sexual, physical traumas, through natural catastrophes, through revolution, something really dramatic that has changed their lives, it is possible that it has still an impact on you, even though you haven't been the one who has experienced it. And that's really crazy. That's so fascinating. When you are able to free the speech in your family, and when people feel safe enough so they can talk about family secrets that for me are nightmares, you can realize that there are stuff that are just repetition. If you look, for instance, to your cousin, you realize that all of your cousin died in a stroke, for instance. Cousin, uncle, I don't know, and you can see patterns. And I really truly believe that it's possible when you see them to stop them in some way. And yeah, that field is so fascinating for me. And that's some of the traumas that I'm currently working on. I'm trying to understand better where I come from so I can see what is kind of mine and what is more of my family lineage and understand it. And maybe, I don't know, because it's just hypothesis, maybe I can be able to stop some of them because I'm aware of them. And that's my hope, actually. That's really my hope. So the idea is not to be dramatical, not at all. It's just for me to share with you all this healing that I'm talking about. And maybe, I hope it's gonna touch a part of you somewhere, and you're gonna realize that you're able to change something about a trauma that you've been living, or something that it's not yours but you're carrying. I think it's so powerful to be aware of that. It's so powerful. So yes, I'll keep on sharing that journey of healing with you, and I think it's going to be one of the main topics of this podcast. So feel free to share yours, because we are human, we are all vulnerable, and it's okay to know that you have to heal. It's okay to heal, and you can do it. So can I. Have a good one, and see you next week.